Hi, some of you have been asking me about the list of plugins that I use for my niche blogs. So in this video, I am going to talk about all the plugins that I use. Also, I am going to touch base the themes that I extensively use on my sites, and you can explore on your own also. And then on top of it, if you have any specific questions or any additional information required, you can always ask me. So I just created a empty version of WordPress, just one installation, so that I can actually show you the plugins that I am currently using on most of the sites. Then you can actually go and install it on your site and explore it. Okay, so let me get started. This is a list, the total list, and there are few color codes are there. I will explain you what it is. So let's start with the themes. So primarily I use Astra and Kadence. Both free versions are more than enough for any of the niche blogs. I was actually using both free versions only till a few months back, because I think about 3 to 4 months back, there was an offer for Astra. So I went ahead and purchased the premium version. The idea was that I just wanted to have one premium version, because I'm now in the plan of creating more and more sites. So in case if I need a customization, I quickly wanted to do. That's the only intention. But if you are a beginner, or if you are just having a 2 or 3 blocks, you really don't need a premium version. I hardly use any of the features that come in premium version. Most likely I use all the basic features that are offered. So you can very well build your site using the free versions itself. You really don't need the premium version, unless otherwise you want to really do some customizations and all that. So these are the two themes. The Nuvie theme, recently I just, for one of the site, I installed this theme. I just wanted to check or compare the speed against these two sites, because I read in some of the forums that this is actually one of the theme that is giving you good speed. So just for the testing purpose, I recently installed, and I found it so far more or less, I think my experience, this is as good as any the above two themes as well. Again, Nuvie also I went ahead with installed only free version. So if you are starting a site, or if you are still in confusion about which theme, you can pick any of these. People talk about GeneratePress also a lot in blogger community. I never explored it, I never used it for any of my sites, so I can't comment anything on that, but I heard good things about that also. So if you are already using that theme, then you need not to really go and switch to these themes, or else if you want to test it out, test it out. So so let me actually go here, themes. You can find all these free versions directly from the WordPress itself. So this is the Astra, you can see here. You can go ahead and install Kadence. So here is the Kadence. This is the theme that we are talking about. And then the third one is Nuvie theme. So in case if you want to try it out, so here is the theme. These are the three themes. But primarily most of my sites now are on Astra, or some of the sites are on Kadence. So let me go to Kadence, and then we can install here, just to show you. So that's about it, simple, and you will find all the customization of options and all those things. I'm not going to set up any of the site here. I just wanted to show you the list of tools that I use, both themes as well as the plugins. You can explore, and then if there are any questions, you can always ask me. So if I know answers for those questions, I will surely reply. So that's about the themes. Now coming to plugins. So these are the 7 plugins that I now at least I settled now for my sites. So most of my sites now using these 7 plugins. So down you can see below there are few more plugins in different colors. Let me explain what it is. Astra Pro, this is the premium plugin. In case if you purchase the premium version, and if you want to use some additional features that are offered by Astra, then you need to install Astra Pro. Otherwise, if you are using the free version or base version, free version, this is not applicable to you. That's why I actually highlighted it in different color. Then add inserter I normally use in the early days of the site. Normally I use add inserter to display the native ads till I upgrade it to EZOIC, or maybe I apply on AdSense and all that, because there will be lot of space. So just for that purpose, temporarily I use this particular plugin. Later I remove it. And auto optimize is normally for performance improvement. I don't use it much, but when I move the site to WPX by default actually install this and then do some configuration. So some of the sites I replicate the same thing whatever WPX does. So again, this is not mandatory. Another thing is, the moment you deploy your site on EZOIC ads, they advise you to remove all the performance related plugins, because they say that the EZOIC system takes care of all those things. So that means this also will go off. As soon as I migrate the site to EZOIC, I remove auto optimize also, and add inserter I would have already removed it. So these are temporary plugins. That's why these are in different color. Now you can see at the end Yoast and Rank Math. If you are familiar with SEO plugins, these are the two most popular SEO plugins. I used to use them extensively earlier, and most of the bloggers even nowadays also use them, but I got rid of them about nearly 7-8 months back. The reason is, I stopped basically updating the meta descriptions for my blogs. I let Google to pick whatever the suitable meta description. I just fill the titles, that is basically heading of the blog itself is basically title. So I stopped using the other features, so I uninstalled these plugins. I am not using these plugins anymore. So that's the summary. So let me actually take you through one after other. So first one is WordPress. WordPress plugin, you can't find it on WordPress. So let's get onto the plugin pages. You can't find it on WordPress. You will get a download if you actually purchase it. So I made a video about WordPress showing complete demo. The purpose why I use this plugin is to show the Amazon boxes or Amazon tables or Amazon product snippets and all that. I use API to fetch them. So this plugin works for me. There are other competitors also there, like you have AAWP, another most popular plugin which does the similar function. There is another one is MLink Pro, but I settled with WordPress. I am comfortable with that. So here is the site where you can actually go and purchase. There is a link in my description also to go and check it out. So once you sign up and then purchase it, then there will be a download link enabled within your profile. Using that, you can download it and install it. That's about WordPress. The second one also is a premium plugin, but this plugin is available in WordPress. This is let me show you what it is. So here it is. So before I talk about that plugin, so you can see here these are the default plugins that come with the hosting provider. So I hosted my site on Siteground. So Siteground Optimizer is basically the optimization performance related plugin that they by default offer if you install WordPress. Security is some basic security related aspect that they offer. So what happens is, when I migrate the site to EZOIC, I will have to deactivate Optimizer. We will keep it the security as it is. That's about it. So these are not the plugin that we install. These come by default. Now let me take you through the other plugins. So this is one what we are talking about. So here is the plugin, Amazon Link Engine. So let me install it. What it is this is related to, this is actually a product of Genius Link. So here it is, the Genius Link. I use Genius Link extensively for the localization for all my websites. What it means is, if my site is being opened, let's say primarily I give Amazon.com links, affiliate links in the site, but if somebody opens in UK, then Amazon.co.uk will open. Then somebody opens in France, it will be a France link. So that all that localization happens through Genius Link for me. And the plugin that I use for this is basically this one. So now let me activate this and then show you the basic things. So if you go here, the settings, You can see here Amazon link engine. So what you need to do is you need to give the API key and also API secret, and then you need to make some customization. So all this you will be able to do when you sign up with Genius Link. So there is a monthly subscription is there based on the number of clicks. If you see my, if you actually recollect the details I provide in my monthly reports, I actually add about $15 currently per month. I pay about $15 to Genius Link for this particular purpose. So you need that, otherwise if you do not have a premium version, then you won't be able to fill in this API and all that. Okay, so these are the two premium plugins I use across all my sites. Okay, EZOIC mainly for Amazon boxes, Amazon product displays and all that, and Genius Link primarily for the localization. Okay, but if you are a beginner, you may actually skip these things. But if your site is heavily Amazon focused, I suggest you pick up some plugin, either EZOIC or AWP. It will be easy. Later point of time replacing it is really going to very hectic. But if it is a primarily informational based blog, then you can actually skip it. And localization you really don't need in the beginning. It will take at least about 6 months for you to attract the traffic from various countries, significant traffic. So initially you can just go with whatever may be the primary targeting country. Once you see about maybe a 10% of additional traffic, once when it is a significant, then actually you can go ahead and look at the options for the localization. You have multiple options here also. I made one more video about this localization. Amazon one is one option, and another some more plugins are there. You can check it out. I use this one. Okay, these are the two paid plugins. The third one is I use table of content plus. So here is the, let's go to the plugins page, and so this is mainly for each blog to automatically create that table of content, which that will help user to navigate within the blog if they want to directly go and check out certain section. This is the plugin. So you just install it, and then once you install, there will be some minimum settings will be there, like if you want to by default show the expanded version, or else you want a collapsed version or not, and also you want to show it on pages, how many headings you want to show, only on posts. All these options are there. You can customize it as per your comfort, as per your requirement. Okay, this is this is a free plugin. And the next one is insert headers and footers. So why I use this is, earlier I used to use for Google Analytics, there was a Google Analytics plugin used to be there, and search and for some other code changes, or if you want to add some kind of a some tags and all that, there used to be different plugins. So I got rid of all of them. This is a very simple plain plugin using which you can actually put any piece of code that you want to include into the headers and footers. So for now, the only purpose why I use this plugin is I paste here, I actually include the Google Analytics code in the header part, so that my analytics can be tracked. So this helps me to get rid of one more plugin, and which was slightly, I felt like it was a little heavy plugin, Google Analytics or Google other dashboard related plugin. This is a very light plugin, and it serves the purpose. So let me show you what it is. So add new. So here is the plugin. There are 2-3 options are there. I normally use this, and you have one more option here. You can test it out. Just install it, and then it will simple navigation. You need not to worry much about it. If you go to settings, then insert headers and footers, it will just open up the editor. That's about it. I normally pick up the Google Analytics code and then paste it here. That's about it. That's the only purpose for which I use this particular plugin, and it serves the purpose. So that's the next one. And then other one is the WP word count. If you recollect my monthly reports, I report for each of blog what is the word count. Of late I am actually reporting it in my analytics and content related update video. So this is the plugin I use to gather all those details related to the content. So let's go to add new, and then explore this particular plugin. So here is the plugin. So here it is, WP word count. So just install it, and then when you activate it, it will actually, first time when you go there, it will ask you, for example, if you say if you choose the option of statistics, it will ask you an option, we need to calculate your word count first time before you start using the plugin. Just say calculate, it will calculate, that's about it. And then from next month on month, you can get all the statistics related to month and all that. Okay, and so you need to calculate here, calculate word count. Okay, now go to the statistics page. So this is how you will get, this is what I normally display in my analytics and other content related updates video. So that's another plugin. And then XML sitemaps. So earlier I used to use these SEO plugins for sitemaps also, but these were becoming very heavy, and I stopped using these plugins for meta description and all that. So the other purpose for which I was using this particular plugin was to generate the XML sitemap. So as I got rid of this, I found another extension, another alternate. This is a very light plugin, and it does the purpose. So let me show you what it is. Plugins, add new, and here it is, XML sitemap. So there are multiple options are there, but I use this one, XML sitemaps by this Octolo. This one, you just install it, and then it will ask you certain settings to be made, basically to how frequently you want to update the sitemap and the priorities and all this. You can go here, you can see here XML sitemap here in settings, and here there are few options are there. One is what are all the things you want to include, you want to exclude, and then what is the priority for each of either posts or static page and all that. You just make the changes or make some basic customizations or changes, configuration as per your comfort or your priorities. Don't worry much about it, even if you alter something here today, and you can always modify it again whenever you feel like. Okay, so this is another light plugin that I use mainly to create that sitemap and submit to these search engines. Nowadays people say this is also not mandatory, most of the search engines are able to find it, but what I felt is this helps you to speed up the process, especially when your site is new. I think submitting the sitemap will actually help to get your site found by the search engines. That's the only purpose, but once site becomes old, I think the URLs will get picked up by search engines automatically, but always I would say this is a good practice to have the sitemap of your site. So that's about it. And then last plugin is internal links manager. So this is a completely different topic. Like people work on building the external links, there is a concept of internal links also. So you try to link the posts that are relevant or interlinked using some kind of a anchor text again. So there are multiple ways of doing it. One is manually, you can go to each post and check it out if there is any relevant phrase that is associated with other blog, and then connect to that particular, create a link to that particular blog. And there are plugins like a link whisper is another plugin that is very popular, that can help you to automatically identify the opportunities for the internal links. So initial days I used to do manually, then I found this plugin, this is useful, and I started using it across all my sites. So let me show you what it exactly does. So internal links manager, and there is a pro version, free version for this. I currently use this is the plugin, internal links manager. I use the free version for now. Probably I may upgrade sometime in future, but for now it is serving the purpose. So here it is. So what it does is, this is interesting. Let me show you what it is. For example, you go to all links. There is no link now currently. Now you want to add one link. What it does is, for example, you can give any title of the link here, and then you can pick any of the page, sample page or something, and then for whatever WordPress, for example, you can give the keyword. So what it does is, across the site, wherever there is a word, this particular WordPress is mentioned, so automatically the link will be created to this particular page. Okay, that's how interlinks will be created. So what you can do is, for each post, whenever you create a post or page, for each post you can actually create multiple phrases here. For example, WordPress, SEO tools, and then maybe let's say free themes or free plugins, something like this. So what it does is, in all other pages excluding this particular page, this we picked up like a sample page, right? So let me pick up maybe hello world post, for example, because this is a new fresh installation I just created for to show the demo. So there are no pages, no posts are there. For example, there is a hello world page, this particular page is there. So in any of the posts, if you included these words, WordPress, SEO tool, or free themes or free plugins, this plugin will automatically create a link from those phrases to this particular page. So all the pages where this particular words are mentioned will be interlinked to this particular page. That's how this particular plugin automatically helps to create. So why I started using this plugin is, once the site grows, once you publish more and more posts, it was becoming very difficult for me to keep track of all those phrases, pages, and do that manually. So once I create the relevant phrases for any of the page with this particular plugin, it automatically takes care of creating the internal links for even for the new post that I publish. Okay, so this is the another plugin that I use. So that's the last in the list. So if you see here, total all the plugins are, so here it is, excluding those two which came as a default. You can find everything else here, only except the Azan Press, because Azan Press you need to download and install. And now another default plugin that most of the people use, contact forms. I used to use them in earlier blogs, but of late I am actually not using them. Those plugins also I am actually giving in the contact page an email ID to write an email, because this contact form normally it seems it loads on all the pages whether you use it or not, and that has some impact on the performance is what I heard. So because of that reason I stopped actually using that in my at least the latest blogs. So but earlier I used to use that plugin also, and I spoke about remaining things. So these are the things. With this I think we can very well manage most of the stuff that is required. You can actually exclude these two also in the early days. So that means you hardly need a 5 or 6 plugins to really create a nice, very good niche blog, and you can go with the free themes. And another thing what I observed is, all these 3 themes were directly were giving about a 90 plus speed, as long as you don't enable ads. What I observed is, the moment you put EZOIC ads on your site, though the speed is getting affected, then you need to do some tweaking. There is a tool offered by EZOIC itself to speed up the speed and all that, but again for some sites it is running, it is giving good speed, some sites not. But if you don't put those EZOIC ads, straight away all these 3 themes are giving 90 plus speed. So I think they have done good job in whatever the changes that they need to do to the theme. So we need not to worry about that aspect. So you can pick any of these things with the free versions itself, and then go light on the plugins. So currently the latest whatever the sites I am creating, I pick one of these theme, mostly Astra, because I have a premium version, and then I install all these plugins. And in fact in the beginning early days I installed all these 3 also. So altogether 10 plugins, and there is one default that comes 1 or 2 default, these 2 default as from Siteground. 10 plus these 10 plus 2, about 12 plugins. With these 12 plugins, without any tweaking also, straight away the site is actually giving me about a 90 plus speed with any of these themes, but predominantly I use Astra and Kadence. So that's good enough, very good start if for you, if you are starting your journey. Maybe down the line after 6 months or 9 months, once you get your reasonable traffic, and then depending on your need, you can actually look for additional the plugins or tools that you need. Okay. So those are the details I wanted to share. A lot of information, I believe. So if you have any specific questions related to any of the plugins I mentioned, please do ask in the comment section. Go and explore, you will get to know more. And if you want me to do a deep dive of any of these plugins also, do let me know. Probably down the line when I find some time, I will do a maybe a detailed demo exclusively for that plugin that you ask for. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for your time. Bye.